Welcome, folks, to another episode of No Bones About It. First, I'll go off real quick. I'm smoking a little Rockefeller I got in the mail today from one of our guests tonight. Great little smoke. And I'm drinking some of this. There you go. That's another prize pack. He'll be on in a second. I got two guests tonight. I got Michelle, a.k.a. Queen Smoke, another member of the Cigar Enthusiast Network, and Boston Jimmy waiting in the greenhouse. They're all eating all the sushi I got out there. But let me bring them on real quick. Welcome, Michelle, a.k.a.
Hi.
Queen Smoke.
Yes.
Folks, is another member of the Cigar Enthusiast. And you know this guy.
Hi,
Boston Jimmy. How do we want? Nope, we don't want to do that. There we go. How's that? Does that look better?
Long
Okay.
time no see.
Jimmy in the mail today. I'll post it after we. Oh, you guys have met.
Yes, the last
Have
time
you
I
guys
was
met
on the
each other
show.
before?
The last time I was on the show.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
I know.
I've been doing this. I told Jimmy the other night, man. I mean, 2 days a week is tough to come up with different stuff, and I don't. I use what I use tonight. I use tomorrow night, but I got two different people I'm interacting there, so everything's completely different. But I got critiques from the daughter that said, "Don't say, well, Kerr, you probably heard this last night. Don't tell anybody you used it."
Right.
Okay. Jimmy, cigars I never smoked before. This is the next one on the table.
Which one is that? Oh, the Pichardo, yes.
It came in
It's a Maduro.
Yeah. The Pichardo Maduro, never had that, and I never had the little Rockefeller.
Never had the little
I
Rockefeller.
want to talk.
Blue.
Yeah. No. Say what?
It's the Rockefeller Blue.
Yeah. I couldn't see the little one. It wasn't smaller than the Robusto.
Yeah.
What do you call that? It's a good little smoke.
Oh, it is.
It's good. I like it. I'm not gonna. I'd buy it again. Well, buy it for the first time, but I really like the Magic.
Well, you also have some of these 1831s in there, too.
Yeah.
All right. And this is spectacular smoke. These are unicorns because he's not selling these right now. These have 3 years of age on them after shipment. So he's been sitting on these, just been experimenting with how the broadleaf ages.
Really?
Yeah.
So Jimmy, this is actually a good fit because Michelle's in the process of, she put some videos together that she put out there that she hasn't put online yet. It's going to be coming on live, hopefully sometime soon with your show, Michelle.
Yeah, we said
Right?
we were gonna.
So-
we said we were gonna start off with just little segments that are pre-recorded, and then maybe do like once a month a live show. Just because I was so kind of, you see in the first videos, as you look at them, you'll see I kind of eased up a little bit and I got more comfortable, but I was so nervous. So he was just saying do little segments to begin with. So.
Don't worry, I'm so nervous, so don't worry about it. It just it comes. I get more nervous when I'm by myself than when
Okay.
I
get nervous
other folks
before
to
every
talk to.
show. Every time I do a show,
Yeah,
I get the butterflies and stuff.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. It's
Welcome,
all good.
Jose.
You means you're doing a good job.
I'll let
Okay.
you guys know
Well, that's
if
good.
you haven't seen it. I put a little contest out on from No Bones About It. I just put a picture out there of four cigars, and I said, whoever can tell me, and Jimmy probably knows the answer to this, so he's not. If he wants it, he's going to have to go on and put the answer in there like everybody else. But nobody can get it. They're off. They're close, but they're off. It's 4 cigars from Stogie Road Cigars, and I need to know in what order were they produced and in order, and the name of the cigar and what year they came out or what order it came out.
Okay.
People are like,
go look for Stogie Road cigars under Stogie Press in the reviews section, and you might be able to find that answer, because I think I have a number of them at least talked about, if not reviewed.
Okay. You said Stogie what?
StogiePress.com.
Okay.
There
I have to look.
The answers we have out there they're just like a hair. They're just missing one little thing.
Right. Okay.
One little thing.
We have, I know, Jimmy, when's the Drew Estate's birthday party coming up?
Drew Estate 25th anniversary is going to be September 25th at the South Fork Ranch in Dallas, Texas. It's Saturday. I believe the tickets might still be available, although they're not going to be available forever. They're expecting 2,500 people.
Ooh.
It's going to be the largest celebration of cigars for the public ever, they said. It's just going to be huge. Tremendous swag, I understand. Really high-end stuff they're bringing out. You're going to be smoking cigars all day. They're going to have a huge tailgating party before the main event. There'll be servers walking through the tailgating, serving people drinks, serving people cigars. It's gonna be pretty spectacular.
So
that sounds like fun.
That 400. I'm sorry, Michelle. That $400 ticket gets you all the cigars and drinks. Everything
and the
included?
swag, and the swag, everything.
Wow.
It's all included. Yeah, you're gonna be getting shit like you're gonna get a bunch of stuff. It's just a bunch of stuff. Just crazy town. They pulled out all the stops. I mean, they didn't do a PCA last year. Right? They pulled out PCA this year. They didn't do PCA this year. So they have all this money, right? That they set aside because they knew that in one way I guess they knew they were going to be doing this. So they had all the planning is all around this. They got the barn smokers before that, but this is the culmination of 25 years. It's hard to believe that he's been in business for 25 years.
But they after last year when they went through the whole COVID thing, and then we had our VIP tickets. We were all set to go to Louisiana and go to Creek Farm again, and they canceled everything. That was kind of depressing. But Drew Estates did the right thing. I didn't expect them to do it. I was just going to be lucky to get my money back. I would have been happy with that. But they said, all right, instead of giving you money, we're going to send you. No, they gave us all our money back. I said, all right, great. That was quick. Then they sent you all the swag you would get minus cigars. I thought that was just, what a great customer service move on their part. Then they still gave $10,000 for each barn smoker they canceled to Cigars for Warriors.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't. I was amazed. I really was amazed.
Wow.
And then I had a friend that bought 5 tickets, and people that backed out on them, they sent them all 5 swag bags. He goes, I got 4 for sale if anybody want to buy one. Yeah, I actually talked the last time I talked to Jimmy about that Drew Estates. I went into the house and I told the wife, I said, hey, Drew Estates is having a birthday party in Dallas. And it sounded as high as $400. She goes, well, that's not that bad. She goes, you going to go? I was like, you wouldn't have a problem with me going? And she goes, no, it's up to you. It's only like a 6-hour drive. I said, all right. And then she goes, well, what day is it on? He goes, September 25th. And she's like, you really going to go? I'm like, yeah, why not? She goes, I'm a government accountant, government budget guy. And we close the books on 30 September. So she knows forever I've never taken in September. Ever.
Right.
But certain things I might consider. A couple of years ago, I won great tickets. I had like 25th row center stage for Leonard Skinner at the Wharf in Orange Beach. And that was on the 29th of September. She's like, "You going?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'll take off 28th after work. We spend the night. We'll go to concert on the 29th. I'll come back on the morning of the 30th and go to work." One night is not going to make or break me. A whole week. I don't know.
How'd you like to have been at the Foo Fighters concert last night? The Foo Fighters played at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they sold out Madison Square Garden, man, and they played some special guests that came on.
One thing about that concert, because my sister, a good friend of hers, went. Only vaccinated people were allowed to go to the concert.
Oh, wow.
Of course. We're living in two Americas.
And I don't have a problem with that. I mean, if that's what the venue wanted to require, that's up to them. You know, you want to go, you're going to show proof that you're vaccinated. No, you don't show.
Right.
And you'll see more of that coming.
It's just like the next time I get on the plane, if I got to wear a mask, I'm going to wear a mask. Oh. Yeah, unless they develop that little pill they're talking about to help.
What pill?
Where's it at? The government funded for COVID vaccines. The government put up like $18 billion to fund all the research on vaccines and stuff. Now they put up another $3 billion on research to come up with a pill that fights the vaccine in the early stages of infection. If you get infected with COVID, we want like a one-stop shopping, kind of, here, take this pill and it'll take care of you.
So what's you got, hydroxychloroquine and Clorox in it?
Exactly.
I don't know if I take it. I don't.
I couldn't help myself.
That was a good one, though.
I'm worried a little more about the variant that's running around, the Delta variant. That it's that I mean, we don't want to be fear mongering any more than we need to, but
right.
That seems to be an issue. But I'm sure there'll be people who'll argue that it's bullshit. But we'll see. I mean, it's hopefully people can protect themselves and their families, and we'll be okay.
Now back to Drew Estates. I just tasted the Big Bottom Betty the other day.
Fat Bottom Betty?
Yeah, is it Fat Bottom?
Fat Bottom Betty, man.
I liked it. I was like, oh, this is a nice cigar. So
that whole line that they have is
Does Drew Estates make all those cigars for Deadwood cigars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're partnered with
Deadwood. And they're still selling out of South Dakota, right?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
And you can get them elsewhere. I mean, they're all over the place. They're not just there.
No, but they come down here to this shop and they sell quick. They go, you can get 2-3 boxes and they're gone in less than a week. Easy.
Right.
I like them with a good cup of coffee. I really like them.
Did you have any impact from this storm?
Just smoking.
Did you have any impact from the storm that came through?
We had some. Put it this way, it was a lot of rain and a lot of wind. It's a
lot of rain and wind.
Just a tropical storm, But right on the coast, it came in. We had, I think, 8 inches of rain.
Wow.
7-8 inches of rain. It got so windy and I guess bad the night of. Both our phones went off because we get the alerts from base, and they both went off at like 4:15. and neither one of us thought anything about it. We just reached over, hit the phone, turned it off, and went right back to sleep again. But it was actually for a tornado warning. And I've had more of those down here than I had when I was up in Nebraska.
Look what happened in Chicago yesterday.
What happened in Chicago?
In Naperville, man. It was what is it? What are they? How do they rate those things again? They're not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it was an F3 tornado that ripped through Naperville. Go look it up on the news feed.
Wow.
Ripped, 136-mile-an-hour winds at least. Ripped through parts of this neighborhood, just tore buildings apart.
Wow.
I mean, outside of Chicago.
Right.
They don't hardly ever get those.
Yeah. Yeah, I had somebody telling me today about talking about the weather and how the climate change and how it's getting ready to get real bad, and I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Hey, Caitlin, Kurt, how are you? But how do you I work for the Hurricane Hunters, and when I was trying to get more money for storms, the money people were coming, well, how many storms do you think you're going to have? I'm like, I'm shaking my head. I have no clue. I'm not a meteorologist. I can't even.
14.
I don't even think they can tell you. They can tell you, oh, it's going to be worse than normal season. What do you consider a normal season anymore? Hurricane season normally kind of starts around 1 June through 1 December. This year, we actually started first, second week of May. We started flying storms already.
Last year, too.
Last year it came. The whole month of May was crazy.
Right.
And June, we're only halfway through June, and we've already had the first named storm. And like I said, it was a tropical storm.
C already. The one that came to you is C. That's number 3.
Yeah.
This year so far.
People got to realize too, the named storms don't necessarily hit us. I mean, the United States.
Right.
It might just be somewhere out in the middle of the ocean, and they name it.
Right.
And then they go through the whole. But it's early. It's. I wouldn't think we're gonna be as bad as it was last year. Yeah. Marty said it was F3 up. I can't believe that was the Chicago suburbs, man. They didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
No.
At least
not in Chicago.
In Nebraska, you have the siren system usually goes off if there's a tornado within 50 miles where you're at. The siren goes off, and you got enough time to get in the basement, do whatever. But I bet those folks up there didn't have a clue it was coming.
Right.
That's Michelle. Tell. I don't know if Jimmy knows, but tell everybody what brought you into cigars. What you like to smoke?
Okay. So I know I'm smoking a CAO today. Oops.
Is that the Brasilia?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice cigar.
Yeah. I had never smoked it, so I said, let me try it. So I love trying new cigars for some reason, but I'm going back and forth between, like, my palate is kind of shifting, I guess. I don't know. But I started smoking cigars almost 4 years, I guess you can say, when I first moved here to Florida. I'm originally from Philadelphia, but I lived in California for a lot of years in the Bay Area. So once my kids got old enough, I was ready to fly the coop. Basically, I flew the nest as opposed to my kids flying the nest. And I came to Florida. And so while I was here, a friend of mine had invited me. I had never smoked cigars before. And invited me to, I think it was smoking on in Palm Beach, not
the one in West Palm.
The one in West Palm, yeah. And so I went and I tried a cigar for the first time, and I fell in love at that point. I mean, I loved it. It it's one of those things, you either love it or you hate it. It's one or the other. So I enjoyed it. And after that, I started kind of just trying different cigars and seeing if it was something I really liked, and it actually became my go-to to relax. That first year I was here, as anybody, when you move somewhere, you don't know anybody, and it was just kind of crazy that first year. That was my kind of Zen moment. So it allowed me to sit, think, relax sometimes when things were crazy. And I fell in love with smoking cigars. So it's my thing. Everybody knows it. And I'm a I'm actually a barber instructor, and all my students know. In fact, every time somebody goes away, they come back and be like, "Oh, I brought you a..." They're always bringing me these little bitty cigars. "Oh, I brought you a cigar." Or they'll tell me about a cigar lounge that they heard about or know about. And so I like the fact that, everybody kind of knows now that I'm a cigar smoker.
And you
I
came
really,
in at the right time.
yeah.
Yeah, because prior to that, 10 years ago,
Mhm.
a woman cigar smoker was a rarity. And
Right,
today,
right,
it's no longer. They've
right.
broken that ceiling wide open.
That is true.
There's women in lounges all the time. It's just a natural thing today, But
Yeah,
10 years ago, you didn't see that, and
right.
the girls struggled a lot trying
Yeah,
to fit in,
right.
because they were like, "Oh, you want this sweet cigar, honey?" And it's like,
Right,
"No, I
right,
want one of those big ass bold cigars."
right, right. And it's funny how even for me, when I walk in, if I'm like looking, like I want suggestions, and they're like, "Oh, did you want a flavor cigar?" I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." I'm a Maduro girl, so I'm gonna need something a little.
Well, that's the mistake a lot of owners make. A lot of tobacconists or people that work in the not all people work in shops at tobacconists by any means, but they just assume when a woman walks in the door, they want a flavored cigar. We got one woman that comes in once every 2 weeks and she wants a box of Oscars. That's she wants to leave. That's what she
Wow.
smokes. That's all she smokes. I don't have a
Right.
problem with people call them label smokers, whatever. I don't care. You smoke what you like and you like what you smoke.
Right.
I'd love to be able to buy a box of Oscars every couple of weeks. But it's a great smoke. But I'm like, you can't assume just by the looks of somebody that they don't know what they're doing.
Right. Right.
We actually had we were sitting in the shop yesterday, and a limo pulled up, and this girl comes out, and she's got the cigar. She's got all this glitter all over her shorts. I smoke cigars on the shirt and everything. So can I help you? She goes, "Yeah, I'm just a limo driver. I got a limo full of guys here that want to smoke a cigar. Bring them on in." Apparently, their wives got them a Father's Day gift, and they got them all a swag bag, nice little bag set up. They put 8 dads in the limo and gave the lady a list of places to take them and said, "This is where you take them. You don't tell them where they're going. The next time they get in the limo, they find out when they get there." Even my daughter, who doesn't smoke cigars a lot, she just said she likes the Sweet Janes I sent her. She likes the little flavor. Yeah, so you can't.
But I like flavored cigars as well. So it just depends. It just depends. But I'm noticing that even though I like my Maduros, sometimes I find myself looking for a medium, and sometimes you need a light cigar, but I don't like a light cigar to the point where I feel like I'm just puffing on air, then I don't get any flavor or no nothing, then it's a waste of time for me. So I need something, at least a mid to full most of the time. So
I go white. I'm a medium to full all day long, but my last one of the night, I always try to make it a little bit lighter. For some reason, I don't know why, but I feel if I smoke way too much during the day, 5 or 6, and I don't know, Jimmy, what I just call it a cigar hangover the next day. I get that, you just get that feeling. But I got my, it's not as bad anymore because the wife bought me this. toothpaste and mouthwash. That's charcoal based. Because also, every time I look up, guys, if you see me looking outside, I'm looking out the garage door window. There's another storm coming in.
Oh.
So the garage door is shaking a little bit, and the wind's blowing. But it's called Hello. It's charcoal based toothpaste and mouthwash. I brush my teeth.
I love Hello.
And and it gets rid of the smell and the taste of tobacco. And she came up with this like 7-8 months ago and said, I don't really like. I said, wait a minute. I've been smoking 17 years now, and all of a sudden you don't like the taste or the smell. I said, we've been married 32 years. I never say anything about the cigarettes.
My wife gives me crap.
That thing go over.
My wife is all. She's all supportive of what I do, but she gives me crap when I'm like. I went down to Vero Beach on Saturday to go visit this lounge I've been wanting to go to, and of course I smoked a cigar down and I smoked a cigar back. It's like 45 minutes each way. I actually use the ozonate spray in it and some of the powder afterwards. She got in the car yesterday to go pick something up from the store. She came home. She says, "You smoked in the car again." I'm like, no. Okay, it's a family car. All right? It's the car we have, but it's kind of like my car. I mean, it's I pay the loan. I get it. It's a family car, but for the one time I enjoy a ride down along the beach. You're riding along the river. It's a nice day out. The windows are down. The music is on. I smoke a cigar.
Right.
She gets all kinds of shit from her. So she goes, "You want to do that? Go fix the beat up old rabbit and ride that." She said, "I'm going to buy a car."
I've never heard of this one. Kurt said use McGuire's Car Bomb. I never heard of it. I've heard.
She's got a sensitive
nose. I use the ozone. I use the ozone spray. I got one of those silver ashtrays that I keep open with just some whiff out in it, but I don't use it. I just keep the whiff out in it.
I had whiff out. I threw whiff out on the floor.
Yeah,
still there.
And I use my cigar stash.
Right.
On my bed. And I don't.
I did.
It smells pretty clean to me. The wife never said anything that's in it, so I assume it's kind of dark. No, Caitlin, sometimes 5 or 6. You see, my daughter's giving me shit online already. 5 or 6 cigars. Damn, Dad. That's on a long event night. If you go to an event, you end up always smoking. You always got something in your hand. I smoke maybe 2 a day.
But you got to put the 5 or 6 in perspective, right? So 5 or 6 cigars is 8 to 10 hours of smoking. Literally taking smoke into the mouth for 8 to 10 hours during the day, right? Well, you get 8 hours of sleep. Let's assume you get 8 hours of sleep, right? So that leaves you what? 6 hours of clean air.
But when you go to a shop and you're sitting, you're watching, like I got on right now, College World Series, or you're watching the PGA. The PGA takes anywhere from 2 hours if you watch the whole round. So it just 5 or 6 is probably a lot. Was high, but on an event, you go one right after the other, one right after the other.
So you watching the college ball right now?
Yes, the Vanderbilt NC State game's on top of the second, 2 outs, 0-0.
So what do you think of the Supreme Court decision today? I love it. Do you see that? Supreme Court came out with a unanimous decision today to shut down
the NCAA?
To stop the NCAA from not allowing them to give more, scholarships, postgraduate scholarships and things for athletic players. It's like, sorry, they said you're a multi-billion-dollar business and no, No, sorry. Unanimous across the board, 9-0. It's like, thank you.
Wow.
But and because they say when educational related benefits like computers, internships. I mean,
housing, computer, all of that stuff. You think about it. Sometimes you get a scholarship to a college, and maybe you're not at a first-tier college, right? So they may give you a scholarship to say, okay, all your tuition's paid for. But then you got to add in books, you got to add transportation, you got to add in food, you got to add a lot of stuff into this, and that can add up to somebody who, maybe they're not coming from a household that's reaping money, right? So they get a scholarship. It's a great thing, but then they got to figure out ways to support themselves otherwise, and they're too busy studying and practicing and playing. So help these kids out.
How do you feel then about the players getting paid for their image, the likeness of their image being used?
You know what? I really don't have a problem with that. Okay, because the advertisers are making money on their image,
right?
So I'm okay.
And it's not only that.
I don't think you pay them to play. You don't pay them to play.
Right.
But if you're, take my image and you put it on a box of cereal, guess what? I should get some compensation, some royalties for my image.
I agree.
I agree with you 100%. It's like the NCAA, all the money they make off of going on NCAA 21 football or something like that. I have no problem with them being paid for the likeness, for the use of their likeness, but I really do think it should be put in a trust for them, so when they graduate or leave school, then they get the money.
I agree.
Because apparently, I didn't know. I'm being told they get a stipend now, like $1,200 or something a month for living expenses and whatever. Which is not a lot of money, but you're going to get a lot of these players that don't go pro. That they can make money during college from their likeness, and they have it when they graduate.
Right.
So let them have it. Let them. NCAA
and that's also
billions of dollars a year.
Right, but that's also incentive for them to finish.
Yeah, you have to finish school to get that. I would have stipulations that you have to complete your course of study.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Put it in order.
Put it together.
Been going on for years.
You can't even do boosters. I remember going down to the University of Miami, meeting with my son and some of his friends. And some of his friends actually played on the football team. Okay. And I went down there and I took them all out to dinner. I said, come on, let's go to dinner. I took them out to a nice restaurant. We sat down. I picked up the bill. They could have gotten banned by the NCAA.
Absolutely.
Me buying them dinner, okay, which was like what, a $25 meal?
Really?
I was supporting them, and I'm like, no, at that, I'm not treating them as the football player. I'm treating them as a friend of my son's.
Right.
I would take them all out. Boom, let's go. Right? No, and that's a tricky rule.
Well, they did that too when we lived in the Browns. Remember Eric Krause who played quarterback for the Huskers?
Nope.
Back in the day. He won the Heisman Trophy back in, got to be 15, 20 years ago. But he came to Omaha one day for like a Christian Fellowship, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, FCA meeting. And he was a speaker or whatever. And one of the guys from the FCA picked up his $14 ham sandwich. $14 ham sandwich, and he got in trouble for that. The NCAA oversteps their bounds way too much. Jim Tressel back for Ohio State with the football with the tattoos and stuff. All the athletes were given tattoos, going places getting free tattoos. Coach got in trouble for that. He ended up having the league. It's just, I think they carry it just a little too far. Just now. But this new ruling by the Supreme Court is going to open the door for a lot of.
Well, they were pretty clear in what they said. So it's got to be education-related expenses. Now, that does open a small crack that says what is an expense. And those expenses can, like I said, can vary dramatically, right? Transportation is an expense, right, to school. Just, if you ever even if you're just taking mass transit, if you're not living on campus, right, it's an expense. Books, supplies, computers, all of that stuff. So they do need to be careful, because I don't agree with flat out paying student athletes, okay, to play, because then you just basically got another pro league, So I don't believe they should get paid cash for playing, but helping them. And I like the fact that they included in that list postgraduate scholarship money. So when they graduate, assuming they don't make it into the big leagues, right, they can go on with their education now, okay, and focus on their passion outside of the sport that they're playing in another university. And they paid a lot of dues to play.
Oh, I didn't know that. Very nice. Yeah, because there's a commercial now when you watch. I don't know if you've seen it. It shows only like 1% to 2% of college athletes go on to professional sports. What do the other guys do? Doctors, lawyers, whatever. And that requires money that they didn't make or do in the last 4 years. So now that's fantastic. I like that. Yeah. I really do. I think it's fair. I got some other. I'm over football. I'm over Green Bay right now because Aaron Rodgers. I heard enough of come and going. I'm staying. I'm going. I'm staying. I'm going. Whatever. He's not happy. Trade him. Get rid of him. Do whatever. Right. But it's a big deal out now for some reason that he yesterday paid his Green Bay Country Club dues in full for another year. So they look at they're reading into that going, all right, I'm going to stay in Green Bay, so I'm going to pay my country club dues up. Well, maybe the guy just decides he's going to keep a house up there. He must be able to play golf when he goes there.
Right.
I mean, how much are the dues compared to how much he makes?
Right.
At the Green Bay
Country
Club?
I want to do NFL. I want to start paying some attention to Tim Tebow again.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Tebow now with the Jags being a tight end instead of a quarterback. I always said he should have been a tight end out of college.
Really? I didn't know he was going to be on the Jags.
Oh, I said the same thing from day one. And I like Tim Tebow as a person. I didn't like him when he was a player at Florida because I'm a Florida fan. Never cared for him as a player, but he wins. And I think he's going to do well. I hope he does well to prove everybody wrong. What have they got to lose? They paid him less than $1 million.
Right.
It's a drop in the bucket for them. And it's tickets. It's going to sell tickets.
Right.
It's going to sell tickets.
I think they're looking. But they did on football. There was a defensive end, and I have no problem with this at all for the Raiders. I can't pronounce his last name. Nassib for the Raiders. He came out of the closet today and said he's the first active football player to say he's gay while he's playing. A lot of them wait until after.
Oh, okay. I think he froze on.
A lot of them wait till after.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. You know, this is we're in a we're deep into the 21st century.
To say, because they didn't want the stigma. Right. He also donated $100,000 when he said this to suicide hotline.
Oh, good.
Suicide prevention. So I give him a ton of credit, and he looks and he acts just like Gronkowski from New England, and now
what position does he play?
He's a defensive end, but he looks just like facial features, nose wise, everything. He looks like the Gronk. I mean,
really?
There's only one Gronk, but you know, I'm taking. I think they got a good shot at repeating if everything goes well. I hate to say it, but I think they can do it again. I really do.
That's good.
You think the Raiders can do it again? Are you saying to me?
No, not the Raiders. I think the Tampa Bay. I'm sorry, Tampa Bay can do it again.
Oh, Tampa Bay can. They It's hard to two-peat in I mean, it really is hard. You know, the teams shift and change year after year, and
right.
You know, Brady had his stage. Good for Brady, good for me. I won some money and some bets out of that. Nobody believed me when I said it, but I called it at the beginning of the season that he's going to win the Super Bowl. They all laughed at me. Said it's in the cards.
Yeah, somebody owes you $100 for that, doesn't he?
I got $100 bill. I got $100 bill.
Doesn't somebody owe you $100 for that bet?
I got $100 bill from him.
Oh, did you really?
He sent it to me. Yeah, it ended up. It ended up as the backup 100 in the slot machine in Vegas.
There you go. Now did you double that 100?
No. I just had fun
Speaking
with
of Vegas, are you going to the PCA this year? Is it going to be in Vegas?
I can't go to the PCA this year. My work schedule from now till August has got me locked down in my office. So I can't. I'm not retired yet. Soon. And we'll have those conversations.
I say the same thing to you. You know, I got something in the works. I'm trying to get a promotion going for what I do, and if it works, I go another 2 years. If it doesn't, I go out whenever I get approved for Social Security.
Right.
And I'm done. I love what I do. I'm just tired of getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work, man. It's
right.
Because I go. My folks. When we came back from COVID, and I think it was the 1st of May, my boss brought everybody back, and I said, man, I don't know if you really want to do that, because the big Air Force said if you can do it from at home, do it from at home, and they said that. I think 5 or 6 months into COVID, they said it works. Keep it going. Don't stop. Yeah. And he said, let me check. And he checked, and sure enough, he said, man, I acted too quick. He goes, if you want your folks to work from home. So I said, but I work in customer service, and we have to have somebody there, because when I go into for a pay problem, I want somebody to physically be there to talk to. I don't want to talk to them over the phone or whatever. So we got it set up where everybody's home for 2 days a week. Everybody's in on Wednesdays, and then they either pick Monday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, whatever, Tuesday, whatever, and they work from at home. And then I was thinking, all right, well, what am I going to do? I'm like, I'm not going in every day. I'll do Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I did that the first couple of weeks. I was like, I don't see half my people. So I was like, I got to go in every day. So I go in, I get all my major stuff done, and then I take my laptop, I go home, or I go to the cigar shop, and I work from at home.
Oh, good.
So, but now they're pushing. They want more time at home. I'm like,
I've been working from home for 21 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
For how many
colleagues? 21 years I've been working from home.
Wow.
And don't get me wrong. I did a lot of travel. I mean, you had to go to the sites and stuff like that, travel all over the world and all that shit, right? But what was interesting is that when they had everybody locked up at home, I had colleagues that they just couldn't get their head wrapped around working from home. They missed like the water cooler moment, walking out of their cubicle and talking to somebody.
Right.
I'm like, dude, man, now you understand what I've been doing for 21 years. Why don't you, like, when this is all back to normal and you're back in the office, give me a call sometime to just shoot the shit, because now you know what I've been doing for 21 years, just glued to a computer and not talking to anybody.
Right.
Yeah, I like it to a point, but I don't like it. I mean, there's some days I'll get up, I answer all my emails, and then I wait for stuff to come in, or I work on something, and then I'll get up, then I'll go mow the lawn real quick, come back in, check emails again, catch up again, go take care of the pool, come back. So I get a lot of stuff during the day that I don't have to do now on the weekend or during the week. But all the work gets done. My folks are actually, I think, more productive from home than they are in the office.
Right.
There is truth to that, because
Right.
you can get focused and be not interruptive if you want to be.
Right. Right.
But you have to treat it like an office too. I learned
Right.
early on that you got to have a designated place that you go to all the time. That's why I come out here in my lounge. This is my desk where I'm sitting. So I work here. This is my office, right? So I go in here, close the door. My wife leaves me alone. She takes care of the dog in her office, and I'm just focused on doing what I do. And I maybe go in and see her for lunch and come back out to the office, right? And it works, you know. Take a shower before you come to the office. Maybe put on a nice shirt once in a while. You know, you're supposed to do that.
Yeah, when we first started this, I was working in the computer room, office room, whatever. And, one day I'm sitting in the garage during lunch. I took a break. I'm smoking a cigar, and she comes in to smoke a cigarette. And she had this look on her face for something, and I just said, "Boy, you don't like me being at home all the time, do you?" She goes, "No, not really." So I said, "All right, I got a deal for you. I'll get up, I'll work in the morning and home. Lunchtime, I'll pack up, I'll go to a cigar shop, work the afternoon. And that way," she wants me to ease into retirement. She doesn't want me to just stop working and I'm at home. That's why we'd never be able to be a one-car family. Always got to be a two-car family. She likes her time. She does her macrame. She does her knitting. Have at it. After 32 years, you give them whatever they want.
Right.
But naps are good too.
Yes.
I take more naps now that I'm older. I definitely find myself certain times of the day. I used to always have a period of time around 2:30 in the afternoon where I would just get tired. And when I was actually in an office and had my own office, not just a cubicle, I would close the door, pull the blinds, and I would just sit at my desk and go to sleep for like a half hour, because I was non-productive anyway, because I was just tired, mentally drained from whatever was going on that day.
Right.
Now I just take naps. Naps are good.
And that's kind of sort of what I do at work. If I start getting tired, I can feel myself I'll pack up, and then I'll either come home and work, or I'll work from there. Because once I move and get up, I kind of get my second wind, and then I go on my way. They can call me whenever they want. I guess being in charge, but supervision sucks. It does. You got to put up with so much. I hate it.
I never want to do that again. I did that for almost 20 years, and you know what? I don't like it.
Right.
I'm a guy that I'm an engineer, and that's first and foremost. And when I see other engineers doing things I don't like, it's like I gotta get on top of them. It's like that. It's like that's not how I would do it. So I just said, nah, just let them do what they want to do.
I need just a second to give a little credit to our sponsors. My sponsors.
Absolutely.
I know Jimmy, Lewis at Smoking 72 Pipe and Tobacco at 925 North Courtney Parkway, Merritt Island, Florida. Call him anytime at 321-453-1422. He'll ship to you. He'll do whatever. I got to get a hold of him again. And Doc Rodriguez, those who know, smoke GTO out of Montgomery, Alabama. 334-538-2949.
I was down at this lounge, like I said, which is the Catelli Cigar Lounge down in Vero Beach. And Catelli had a cigar brand. They still have it, but they've kind of disengaged from the cigar business. They have somebody else that makes it and everything. But they've got a nice collection of cigars that they're building. But in their cabinets was GTOs. And I've never had, all these years, I've never had a GTO.
Really?
And I looked in there, I was like, wow, you got GTOs. So I picked up a bunch of them, right? And he had, I believe it was one of them. He had an unbanded one that was like, he's had since he had his original lounge and he moved it. So he had stock. This is like a 6-year-old GTO, right? Chocolate brown, oily, no band on it, right? And I'm like, I'll take some of those too. I don't care. And it was, I smoked one the other day. It was just like, I think it was a GTO. It was either GTO or one of his, but I got to ask him again. But I got what's the one, the killer, what's the name of the
painkiller? The painkiller?
I've heard of that one.
Got some of those.
His two best, in my mind and a bunch of other folks' mind, is he just recently came. I wouldn't say recently, probably a few months back. He came out with the La Cura.
Yeah, I got those too. I picked up those.
And then the Perfecto with the little pigtail. Before, to me, that is his best cigar.
The La Cura.
Best cigar. Before that, it was and I hope you picked up some of the Don Emilios.
I don't know if he had the Don Emilios there. I have to go check. I'm going to go back. I'm going to be back. I mean, it's a 45-minute drive for me. It's like, it's not a big deal.
If you guys PM me your address, I'll send you some of the ones I got from him for sample.
Okay.
But he's coming out. He came and did an event here probably 3-4 weeks ago. And about 3 weeks ago. And he said, here, try this. He gave us all the assholes, one of them. Unbanded. It's a new blend that he's working on. And he said he wants to tweak it a little bit, make it just maybe a tad stronger. I was like, leave it alone. I was like, just leave it the way it is. I compared it to the other two, the La Cura and those would be his top three right off the bat.
Nice.
He told us the name, what he's thinking of the name, but I'm not allowed to say it. But when it comes out, he actually promised. I promised him I wouldn't. But when he comes out with it, he's going to give it to us to smoke on the show. So
good.
But it's the small guys like him, Gabby Caffey, Kirby Ahante, Armin from DAV, that have a lot of passion for the boutique cigars, the small cigars companies that put a lot of, I want to say, love into it. You know, I think you get to the point of somebody, and I'm just picking them because we've been talking about them on like Drew Estates, Gurkha, Perdomo, the big boys. They produce a mass quantity of cigars. You get the smaller guys. GTO is all family. All family. Everybody in his factory is either a cousin or a nephew or cousin or something. And I think Caffey is the same way. Is also it was funny. We were on the BCA Herf the other night, and he was kind of late getting it going. He gets it going, and in the middle of it, he just, I got to go get a cigar. And he took off, and it took him like 15, 20 minutes to come back. I was like, where the hell did you go? He goes, well, it's kind of hard when you got 200,000 cigars to choose from. Because he's got
He must have got his storm.
He's got his warehouse in his backyard. He's got every that's really starting to. Yeah, it's getting really windy out, and I got DirecTV, so it goes. But somebody told me.
You look like you're on DirecTV.
I haven't tried this yet, and yeah. Jimmy, being an engineer, can probably contest to this. Yes or no, if this would even work. But I had a gentleman. His daughter lives across the street, and he's working on the yard. And we had some storms that week, and always with the wind and the rain, the DirecTV goes to can't get your signal, blah blah blah, and all that. Right.
Right.
He said, "Did that happen to you?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I didn't get any of that in the last storm." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well," he says, "somebody told him a couple of months ago, take cooking spray, Pam cooking spray, and spray it on your satellite dish. Coat your satellite dish in Pam. It's kind of like Rain-X on your windshield. The water it's what's causing he said, what's causing it is the rain, the water that's sitting on the dish is causing interference with the signal. He said the water beads right off and you won't lose your signal."
Wow. Did you try it?
No, not yet, because I mean, it's no big deal, but you would think, it's thundering and lightning and storming out and clouds, and you're not getting the signal to the dish because of the weather. So I just keep on forgetting to try it. I won't know if it actually works unless I actually try to do it.
Well, do that experiment. Let me know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're spraying oil on
right,
and I mean that too is on the dish.
Right.
So
I know.
I have a better solution. There's a much better solution. Get rid of DirecTV. Go back to cable. But I'll tell you, even the cable has problems. I get pissed off at Spectrum because we'll be watching like on HBO Max, we have cable, right? But you go to their HBO Max channel on cable, and then it's kind of streaming. And we were watching a movie the other night, and it was like all glitchy. And I was like, I got a phone call. I told Spectrum, I said, wait a second. I pay a lot of money for you to give me a trouble-free signal because it's cable, not DirecTV. Right. If I'm going to have this problem, why would I be wanting you as a cable provider? And they don't have an answer for it. There's no answer.
No, we go to, if we get a problem in the storm, we go directly to Netflix or something because our internet is separate from DirecTV. We have ATT Uverse, and we never lose internet. That we never lose during the storm. So I'm like, well, we get rid of everything else and go to Hulu Plus or whatever. I actually have I have Prime Streams I keep on the Fire Stick, and I get anything and everything for like $10 a month. I get like 4,000 different channels between sports and we get the fights all the time, everything, and you never lose a signal.
Wow.
So they got to do something if they want to keep customers.
Right.
They have to, because they don't give us a reimbursement on a bill when the cable goes out for 2-3 days after.
You got that right.
No, but if you're late, they're going to charge you a late fee.
Exactly.
I tell them, I say, late? You were late delivering me a cable signal. I should bill you.
Jimmy, I did try 3 new cigars the other day. I went to another shop that's opening up, and they had the La I can't pronounce it. Gurnese. I'm not getting it right. Not even close. The Tabernacle.
The La Galera? La Galera?
G-U-E-G. No, it's Guegenese.
Oh.
Gunyes?
I can't pronounce it. I got the label somewhere, but the Tabernacle, there's 2 different Tabernacles.
Oh, you're talking about the Waywinese. So, so that name, okay, so the way you pronounce that, and I had this discussion with Nick on my show the other week. right? We talked about it. I said, you come up with a name that no average person can pronounce because they're going to pronounce the hard G. It's actually pronounced Waywinese.
Waywinese.
It's Waywinese. La Waywinese. The G is
And it's
way.
a Tabernacle?
I would no, that's a different
it's a
cigar.
Foundation product. Foundation Cigars product.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I never would have gotten Waywinese out of that.
Yeah, it's Waywinese. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. I like Tabernacle. So.
Oh, the Tabernacle was a fantastic smoke.
Oh yeah, I love the Tabernacle.
And then I picked up one, Amara Weeds by Gurkha, it's like a Perfecto.
I saw you post that.
And I'm not a Gurkha fan. I thought I did.
You did.
My daughter's she's got me putting all the stuff on Instagram, smoke of the day on Instagram, and she wants me to get into Twitch. And I said, Caitlin, I'm having a hard time with Facebook and YouTube, and you want me to get into Instagram, you want me to get into Twitch? I'm like,
yeah, but
I can't even tell you how to sign on to that.
That's what I was gonna say. It's a cigar following on Twitch.
Actually, I had a couple of weeks ago, I had the guy, oh God, I can't remember his name, from Bearded Cigars. Phil Crust from Bearded Cigars. Okay. He started on Twitch.
Oh.
No,
really?
Yeah, no, Instagram. And he's got a big following on Instagram, so he's slowly, going, and then he decided to start a company because he smoked so much. He said, well, let's, go from there. He's got over 100,000 followers on Instagram.
Well, that's a really impressive number.
It's crazy. But those were good smokes. I mean, I got some other, but I just want to put that contest back out there again and tell folks. I said, I'll put it back out again. It's a very, current Jen wanted to, let's put a hint out. I said, no, it's so, the one thing they're missing is so easy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And you're putting it on Facebook or Instagram?
I'm putting it on Facebook. I probably should put it. I guess I could put it on Instagram.
Put it on Instagram.
All right, I'll do all that. I got a lot of things I got to do when the show's over. I got to post Jimmy's mail call. I got to, and the cigar world to me is a world in itself.
Right.
I got friends that I hung out with in high school. We were friends. I left in '83, 3 years after graduation. I talk to them every now and then. You talk to them more since Facebook, became big and all that. But a lot of them smoke now, and we swap back and forth and do all that. And it's just a way of getting out there. They watch. They give me a hard time sometimes. Just how do you, it's what I like to do. If it makes me happy. Tuesday It started with the Tuesday nights with the two of my friends, with Mort and Mav. We just didn't want to we're going to be at the shop smoking anyway, so why not just bring everybody in on it? We're going to sit there, if we get followers, we get followers. If we don't, we're not worried about the numbers. Now, I might pick up speed a little bit once I retire, and when you can put, like I said, I don't know how Jimmy does it. He works at 8 hours, he works all day, and then he does the show, and he does all this other. It's too much.
Yeah, but I'm not even at the top of the game, right? I mean, you look at like Coop, right? I don't know how he does it. All right, so Cigar Coop, he's got basically the same job I have in a competitor business. All right,
really.
He does basically the same thing I do. All right, and I know what it takes to do what I do. All right. So I know what kind of demands are on him from work. And he's out there constantly, does 2-3 shows a week. He's out there with cigar reviews and the news, and he gets a lot more news than others do because he's scrolling, and he doesn't just get the emails. I'm sure he's out there like Half Wheel probably does and makes phone calls and says, what's new? You got something coming? Let me know. And it's hard. And the guy had like a nervous breakdown a few years ago from it. You know, I mean, he's a few years younger than me, and it's like, be careful. You can push yourself, you can burn that candle on both ends hard, and it can catch you. So be careful what you do. Let's be real. There's only a few in this business, in this media side of the business, that make serious money, right? From Aficionado, Cigar Journal, I'll put Half Wheel in that. But everybody else, it's a passion project we have. We get some sponsorship, it helps buy cigars and maybe go on trips for, cigar related, events and things like that. But it's not like my retirement day. It's not like it's paying my retirement.
Right.
It's not putting food on the table. It's putting cigars in my mouth. That's what it's doing.
I'm looking at it for something to do when I retire.
Yeah, just
to
something
have more time to
busy.
I sat down here 20 minutes before the show and wrote down, stuff. I know I have to be more prepared for it, but I've learned from one of the best, Michelle, and he always said, he goes, know your guest, but just ask 1 or 2 questions, and when the guest starts talking, let them go. And
right.
pipe up every now and then, and they'll take care of everything. You jump in, you give your sponsors, you talk about what you're going to do. But you want to know anything about cigars, you go to thatstogipress.com, and it's, if you can't find the cigar on there, send him an email. If he hasn't put the review out there,
I definitely will.
But
I got a couple questions that I'm sure I'll be asking him soon.
Okay, I got to give credit to the wife because she supports me. She knows Mondays and Tuesdays I got a show.
Yes.
Depending on what's going on, if my team was playing tonight, when you guys are done, I would just turned everything off, not packed anything up, got in the car, go to the shop, and watch the game with the guys. She's probably in there watching it now anyway, but I'm not going out in this crap because it's pretty dark out there right now, and it's windy and rainy, and it's not worth it. But if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to do any of this because she knows Tuesdays I go to the shop, we do the show, I pack everything up, I sit down, and I go watch another good show I like watching is the Great Lakes Smoke Show with Ronnie, and they do a pipe and cigar show. They have trying to come up with something too in the show, but I don't want to copy them. But they have at the end of the show when they're done with the guests and everything, they do a what they call Stump the Chooch, and it's Jimmy knows what Chooch in Italian means. It's basically Stump the Jackass, So they ask 3 questions of the audience, of the panel there. And then the last one is for anybody listening, either win a pipe or a lighter or whatever they're giving away that week. And usually, if I win something, I tell them they were at one time putting a big package together to send to the troops over in the desert. So just give it to them, put it in the pack, and go. They finish that up. And I won a pipe last week because I really want to try a pipe. But I just have a feeling if I get into it, it's one more thing that's going to cost me money. But he's going to bring it to the show. But I want to give my wife credit. But I'll let you guys go. I appreciate you coming on, as always.
Thank
Michelle,
you.
If you need any help, Michelle, just call anytime.
Where in Florida are you again, Michelle?
I'm in I guess you can call it Lake Worth.
Oh, Lake Worth. Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
So I'm in Lake Worth.
A few hours.
So I usually will go to Boynton Smoking or to Cuban Crafters in Wellington. So either one of them two.
Nothing wrong with those choices.
Yes. Well, it was fun sitting with you guys again. I'll have to come back soon. Things are kind of starting to die down, so I'll be able to come on a little more often.
Okay, no problem. I appreciate it. Jimmy, I'm going to make a trip out of it. I'm going to make a trip to Florida sooner or later. Hopefully before
Yeah.
Christmas sometime. Because like I said, I haven't seen my sister, and she lives in Ocala, so I got to come out and.
Yeah, come on down in November when the weather's nice.
Right. Well, hopefully I'll get to see you both soon.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Spend some
I'll
time.
let you know next time next time I'm
absolutely.
down in
Well-
Smoky, I'll let you know.
Most definitely.
They are
I'll
having
definitely
a,
come through.
Michelle, the BCA that has their event on the 13th, 14th of August in Indiana, they're planning the same thing in Florida. I think somewhere between January and March, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Just make
Okay.
sure we don't do it when Smoky has their event, or when TPE is, which is January 26th. Mark your calendar.
Right.
Okay.
Mark his calendar. That's it. You
They
can't
gotta be
have
very
it on
careful
those
that
days.
time of year.
Well, I'm also going to try and see if I can get some time off to go to the one you were talking about for Drew Estates, too. That'll be nice to go to.
Well, the other one you can hop on in here in Florida, Michelle, is they also do the Drew Estate Barn Smoker.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they have one in Claremont here in
Okay.
Florida where they do the Florida sun-grown tobacco.
Okay.
And then they've got one in Kentucky, one in Louisiana, and one in Connecticut. But you can look up the Florida Barn Smokers if there's tickets still available. And that's a great event. You'll learn a lot. They're going to talk about the tobacco growing. They're going to bring you into the barns where they cure the tobacco. So it's a nice little event.
They're not doing I know they're doing like you said, they're doing the Connecticut, the Florida, and the Kentucky. They're not doing Pennsylvania or Louisiana this year.
Right.
Maybe because of the birthday party. You know, I maybe next year they'll get back to all 5 again, which would be nice.
I would hope so.
Because that other one's only like an hour and a half from us. But next year I want to go to one in Florida. But man, them tickets they were going like.
They go fast.
I won't go unless it's a VIP now because it makes a big difference.
What a VIP gets you to dinner?
Yeah.
Before
And that's
the event.
That's what the BCA is doing on the Friday night. It's VIP dinner for the 100 VIP tickets and the vendors. All the cigars you can smoke, and they're putting them out to take whatever. And then it's open bar, catered food.
Yeah.
A little bit more in the Drew Estates, but it was like $50 more. It's like $200. But I'll let you go. I appreciate it, Jimmy.
Oh, but by the way,
You're on again?
She's got two. You had mentioned about the troops. I don't know if you saw the post I made earlier this evening. So here in Florida the other day, they're bringing in the USS Gerald Ford aircraft carrier.
Okay.
To recondition it and work on it. But what they did is they had it out in the Atlantic off the coast